We're going to turn now to country music singer-songwriter Toby Keith, passing away overnight at just 62 years old. Blair is here with more about his life, including his valiant fight with stomach cancer. Larry.
She's been out here on the road with us for the last 4 or 5 years now. She used to come when she could.
The commanding influence of country musician Toby Keith passed away on February 5, 2024, after privately battling cancer. But when he took the stage, it was as if nothing was ever the matter. His last show was at Encore Theater in Las Vegas, and to be certain, he sang well, fought exceptionally hard, and performed songs from his incredible 40-year career. He finished his memories with his final song of the encore entitled, "I Love This Bar," never mentioning to the audience about the pain he was silently dealing with, and continued to travel forward in the show, letting the show guide him in the moment. But when his health issues worsened, and scans returned with results he wasn't happy about, with yet another complication to deal with, he was going to give it one last chance. After the show, countless fans chanting, "Toby," left the venue, and he spent every last minutes signing autographs, showing commitment to every one of them personally. Toby had made a promise in Oklahoma that he would drip every ounce he could until the carcass was completely drained. Toby Keith may have had an obligation as a performer in those last shows. However, behind the bright lights, he was in a battle with an even fiercer opponent, cancer. In November 2021, the scans revealed a host of extra complications with his growing mass. Only he and his family knew the truth, after consulting with medical physicians at the Oklahoma City Oncology Center and mapping out a plan to get better. He revealed his diagnosis in June 2022 and stated that he would put up a damn good fight. Despite the arduous course of treatment, Toby never allowed himself to feel like he was that guy with cancer, and worked the whole time he was sick, with family, faith, and music to keep him grounded. He wrote that music molded him, and music would carry him through. 16 years prior, he and Trisha had met at a county fair in Oklahoma. They were married in 1984, were proud parents to 3 children, and in 2013 founded the Toby Keith Foundation to benefit families with children battling cancer. Toby and Trisha organized benefit shows with performing artists such as Sheryl Crow and Luke Bryan, encouraging fans to bid on auction items, raising funds to benefit the organization, and establishing a grant program to help support families with the expense of travel and medical costs. Trisha managed the foundation, grew the organization's ability to help and be a source of respite for families, and occasionally, she even brought music to the sick kids. When Toby's illness progressed, the foundation reacted quickly, as did the community, to assist the family. After his death, Trisha continued to run the foundation, pouring in her internal compass, keeping Toby's mission thriving. Toby was buried from St. John's Episcopal Church, and Trisha sat next to Toby's friends, bandmates, and childhood friends.
The priest, a friend of family for many years, spoke softly from the pulpit about the power of forgiveness and the importance of gratitude in living a whole life, while reflecting on Toby's deep faith and his tendency to fold his daily devotionals into the lyrics of his songs. The 3 artists played an acoustic rendition of "American Soldier" in tribute to Toby's support of the troops. At Rose Hill Cemetery, the hearse stopped under a big oak tree, where he would eventually lay to rest next to both of his parents' graves. Trisha walked by the service truck, laid her rose last, and was in the ivory dress Toby had gifted her on their anniversary. She closed her eyes, placed her hand on the headstone, and whispered, "Rest now." In lieu of flowers, the family asked that donations be made to OK Kids Corral because Toby believed every child needed a place to find hope in a battle against cancer. Before long, word of Toby spread to small-town bars in Texas and Oklahoma that would host Toby Nights, with 100% of the proceeds going to the Kids Corral, praise services, bake sales at churches, radio pledge drives, and giving lines that had been set up in his name. According to reports, $2 million came in the first week alone. The CMA Theater in Nashville hosted a public memorial with photos of Toby as a child with his guitar, or dancing with Trisha on their wedding day, or strumming for kids at the corral, all in a line around the walls of the theater. People brought little notes and other things to pin on a memory wall. Everyone was seemingly off in the aisles watching clips of Toby on stadium tours, or standing at attention during the national anthem, and a clip where Toby handed a guitar to a kid dying of cancer as the tribute montage began backstage. A candlelight vigil was held outside the theater at the end of the night, and people formed a circle on Broadway under Trige's Emery Was Bright with the light from many candles as we sang Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, and showed pictures of Toby at different ages, all whilst relaying Meeting Toby, dancing at concerts, and at times all alone playing his records over and over again, carpeted floor. In the world that was left in Toby's absence, the spheres depicted of one another holding 1, 2, 3, 4 lanterns, or he and they, got charming aught in different company during the round. Despite his body no longer being present, he will always be in the middle of every note, lantern, and flickering flame. At the April CMT Music Awards, Toby Keith received a tribute filled with stories that spoke of his generosity, mentorship, and commitment to family and charitable giving. There were his contemporaries who shared stories of their own, and fans from all over the world where a three-piece band played cover versions of his greatest hits, bartenders poured Toby Keith shots for their patrons in his honor, and radio stations in all 50 states dedicated entire days to his catalog. 2 weeks later, on April 15, Trisha returned to OK Kids Corral to honor Toby Keith's legacy, along with Shelley and Crystal, who viewed and toured each cottage, read handwritten notes left by children, and planted a small oak tree in a garden created in Toby Keith's name. On Lower Broadway in Nashville, the bars filled with impromptu sing-alongs of I Love This Bar. On February 6, 2024, Toby Keith was elected to the Country Music Hall of Fame's Modern Era Class of 2024. The Hall of Fame committee invited Trisha to accept the honor on Toby's behalf, and artists who are part of his musical road performed his songs in tribute to him. On October 20, the CMA Theater was the venue for a Hall of Fame event in celebration of Toby Keith's honor. There was a full press contingent of Rolling Stone, Billboard, and People. Trisha, Crystal, and Stellan walked onto the stage in sapphire blue gowns and with their husband's old belt buckle, while some of the old and new country stars like Dolly Parton, Garth Brooks, and Luke Combs were in attendance. When the last note faded and the last spotlight soon dimmed, Trisha stood up to speak, holding a single piece of paper in her trembling hand. She spoke about his work ethic and how he was able to give kids and their families hope at OK Kids Corral. Nonetheless, he was wealthy.